Hello friend, I am Professor Firoz Sheikh. I am working at Art, Science and Commerce College, Indapur. I welcome all the students of TYBA Compulsory English. Today we are going to discuss one of the great sonnet and poem How Do I Love Thee, written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. This is love poem in which the poetess or beloved expresses her emotion, feeling towards her lover. So this is love poem written in a sonnet form. In the last lecture, we discussed the one of the great essay or story written by Leo Tolstoy. The name of story is How Much Land Does a Man Need? It contain or talk about the greed of human being, and later we discuss the poem The Charge of the Light Brigade by Alfred Lord Tennyson. The poem focused on patriotism of soldier and depends on real incident took place in Crimean War at Battle of Balaclava. Friends, today we are going to discuss the poem How Do I Love Thee, written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. This is a sonnet poem written in a sonnet sequence known as sonnet from Portuguese. Friend, the sonnet is we can simply say that the poem written in 14 lines which expresses the feeling of speaker. This is sonnet is by origin it is Italian. In Italy, in Italian age, the Petrarch, one of the great poet, used to write the poem in a sonnet form. So he divided his poem, so 14 line between 8 line and 6 line. For 8 line he called octave, and remaining 6 line he called sestet, in which he used identical rhyme scheme. For octave he used AB, BA, AB, BA, and for sestet he used CDE, CDC or CDE. So such kind of rhyme scheme he used for the sonnet form. This sonnet form, one of the great poet in England, Swatt brought in England, and he employed this sonnet form in English. Then this form again developed by the English authors, in which we have a William Shakespeare and Spenser, Edmund Spenser. Shakespeare divide this sonnet form, rather than octave and sestet, he divide that particular form in 3 quatrain and 1 couplet. So he has a 3 quatrain and 1 couplet form, which is a different than actual origin of patriotic sonnet. In Shakespearean sonnet, he used the rhyme scheme such as AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. So he used a different rhyme scheme to indicate the 3 quatrain and 1 couplet. Then the Edmund Spenser again make the some evolution or some changes in sonnet form. He used the rhyme scheme such as AB, AB, BC, BC, CD, CD, EE. So such way he used some kind of different form. So in Spenser's sonnet, the last line of the couplet or quatrain is rhyme again repeated in a next quatrain. So such kind of connectivity we saw in the sonnet form in the Elizabethan period or in Spenserian sonnet. We say that we have a Astrophel and Stella, one of the great sonnet sequence written by Philip Sidney. He followed the Petrarchan form. Then we have a Edmund Spenser. He wrote the Amority. He used his own way of Spenserian sonnet form. Then Shakespeare wrote the sonnet in his own form. We can see the Romantic period. The sonnet form emerged. Most of the writer like Wordsworth. Then we have a Keats. Then we have a Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Then we have a D.G. Rossetti, Christina Rossetti. Then we have in the 20th century Dylan Thomas. These are the writers. They use this form and popularize this form, make the use their form to expression of their emotion. So in this poem, we are going to discuss this poem with stanzaic form. Also, we make the critical appreciation of the poem. This is the prime objective of and prime agenda of this lecture. And the real intention behind that, the student must acquaint with the sonnetic form or sonnet as a literary form. Friend, the sonnet, a 14 line with iambic pentameter poem. The poem was one of the renowned form of literary, and most of the writers till in the 21st century they are using this form to express their emotions and feelings. There are some variation from rhyme scheme from Shakespeare, Thomas Watt to the Spenser. We notice some of the variation in rhyme scheme, but the real zeal or real expression of emotion, we can say that sonnet is a proper form to express the emotion. So this is a form, the lecture, the prime objective of this session is to acquaint student with the sonnet as a literary form. The sonnet is a 14 line poem, I told you before that, with iambic pentameter, but it has some compactness. Okay, whatever you want to express, whatever you want to share your ideas, feeling, emotion, you have to share in the 14 line. That is what we have called the compactness in a sonnet form. One more form we have in a curtal sonnet, which developed by G.M. Hopkins. He used only 11 line poem, that is sonnet, curtal sonnet, to express the emotion. So he become more compact. Okay, and he used the very identical and very new metrical pattern, sprung rhyme in this poetry. So curtal rhyme again become a more compact, but we are in today we focus on the 14 line sonnet form, and student must aware the particular rhyme scheme which is developed by Petrarch in Italian. Then we have Thomas Watt in England. Then we have a Surrey, Sidney. Then we have a William Shakespeare. Then we have Edmund Spenser. These are the author make this form popular or make this form common for their literary art. Then mostly romantic period. I told you romantic period is full of expression of love, passion, nature, in which we have Wordsworth use this form identically. Then we have Keats, other poets in a Victorian age. In 20th century also we see this form most of the writers are using. This poem we are going to comprehend the particularly what a feeling the poetess or the speaker want to share in that poem. We are going to discuss every element, every feature of the poem. The prime objective of this lesson is to acknowledge or to give the knowledge of literary features and for the student. So we are going to also discuss the rhyme scheme of the poem. Then what are the poem used in the maybe run on the line, enjambment, such kind of feature we mostly notice in the poem. There's a lot of comparison in the poem. So there are a lot of things we find a personification, comparison, metaphor used in the poem or simile used in the poem. We are going to discuss in the lesson. Then we make the critical appreciation of poem, because the poem is written by the wife to express the emotion to husband. As we know that the Elizabeth Barrett and Robert Browning, one of the famous couple in Victorian period, they married secretly and went to the Italy. And when they in Italy, the Elizabethan Barrett wrote this poem. As you know that Robert Browning, one of the great poet, he was famous for his dramatic lyric, and Elizabeth Browning was initially at the early age of her life, she was very enthusiastic to write poem, but she could not able to publish that poem properly. So her mother collected her poem in way and tried to publish it. So the behavior, the psychologically we can say that the Elizabethan Barrett Browning is not a more free, okay, she is limited to her own world. But when she fall in love with the one of the great poet in Victorian period, Robert Browning, she started expressing herself openly, and that resulted into the great sonnet sequence, that is a sonnets from Portuguese, and in which we have poem number 43, that is known as How Do I Love Thee. So look at the poem, very simple poem. Okay, look at in this poem we can see the emotion, we can easily find out the emotion of beloved to the lover or wife to husband. Okay, in Italy the when they married and when they living in Italy, they Elizabeth Barrett Browning expressing the feeling. Look at the first line: how do I love thee? How do I love thee? Look at the words of thee is archaic use of word. Thee means you. Okay. So how do I love thee? Okay. What is the way of my I love for him? Let me count the ways. Look at this. What you said that how do I love my husband? How do I love my lover? Let me count the ways. Let me measure the ways in which in through I am going to love or I am going to express my feeling to my husband. Okay, so there I love thee. Look at the next one of the great line in the poem: I love thee to the depth and width and height my soul can reach. Look at this. So here the use of metaphor, images. Look at this. He said that I love my husband to the depth, to the width, or to the height that my soul can reach. As you know that the soul has endless, okay, it can reach anywhere at the end of at the particular point of time. Suppose I am thinking right now, my soul can reach the moon also, Mars also within a couple of seconds or within the mini second. Okay, so this happened about soul. So the soul can reach anywhere. Soul can reach anywhere. It can go in the depth of the, we can say, the earth, anywhere. Okay, we can go anything. Human being cannot go to the depth of the earth, but soul can go. Okay, so he said that I love my husband, my lover, the depth where my soul can go like this. Okay, I love my husband, my lover. This is the width where my soul can reach. Okay, so my soul can reach, lot of width is there. Okay, in the I can go across the universe. Okay, I can the height of the my soul, where my soul can reach, I can reach this at the sun. So whatever the height my soul can reach, that is actually, she compares her love with the height, depth and width of the soul where they can reach. So this is a very important images used by the Elizabeth Browning to express her feeling. Look at the emotion she kept, how the intensity of her love, how she or passion. Look at the, we can say the depth of her love. We find the first second line in the poem. So this line also we can see the run on the line. It means that the line is continued till the middle of the third line. So it is called the run on the line or enjambment. Enjambment called the literary feature enjambment. Then next line, when feeling out of sight for the ends of being, the ideal grace. Here ideal grace refer to the God. Look at this. So see that when feeling out of sight for the end of the being. Okay. So what about that? When I found that my lover is out of sight for end of that time, I found the end of the being. Being means end of the life, end of my life, and end of the universe. Such kind of, so it means I have totally committed, I have totally depend on my husband, my lover, and that is ideal grace. We see, compare her lover with God, authority, or Almighty. That is a power of her emotion. So this poem, this first 4 line expresses the emotion of the poetess. Okay, as we know, the rhyme scheme, we can note the lesson A, B, height, sight, and grace. Okay, so A, B, B, C. This is the first stanza contain the rhyme scheme. Okay, ways and grace. We can say again. Okay, A, B, B, A. Look at this way. We can mention the rhyme scheme of the poem. The next part, the poem, the line, how do I love thee? How do I love thee? Look at the next poem, how she expresses her feeling. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet needs. Look at again the literary feature enjambment used by the poetess. Okay, he said that I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need. Look at this. What is the everyday quiet need? So our everyday quiet need is that, okay, we have light, we need the light, we need the food, we need the water, we need the breathe, we need the air, oxygen. So she said that I love thee at the level of the everyday most quiet need. Okay, we need food, we need shelter, we need water, we need air, we need oxygen. Without oxygen we cannot able to survive. So it become our most quiet need, it become our very important need. It is called the my most quiet need. So she said that I love thee, I love you my husband, I love you my husband at the level of every day's quiet need. Every day means whatever the most important need of human being, I love at that particular. So she compare her love with the everyday most quiet need. So this will become the use of metaphor. Again she said that by the sun and candlelight. Look at again, she said that the sun, as we know that sun provide us energy. We know that in the surface of the globe, no human being, no animal, no plant, even small creature cannot able to, microorganism cannot able to survive without use of sunlight. Okay, so we can say the sunlight provide us food. We can say the plant with the help of the photosynthesis system, they can able to generate the food for others also and for themselves also. So the sunlight is the most quiet need. If we don't have sunlight, no one going to survive on this globe. Also we have a candlelight. Of course there is no sun, candle able to fulfill our requirement in our house or in our whatever, in our cabin, whatever may. So candle can reflect the sun for some point of time. So here she said that as sun is a most quiet need, the light of the sun, the rays of the sun is the most quiet need for the every plant, every human being, every animal, small organism, microorganism. The such need, she compare that need with her love. Look at this again, the comparison. So this is the vehicle. In this metaphor we said the first is tenor. Tenor means love, subject, and second is metaphorical term we call the vehicle. Vehicle is extended. Look at extended from love is compared with the everyday's most quiet need. Also compare with the suns and lights, candlelight. So the vehicle is extending only because, so this extension of vehicle in metaphor express the how the girl, how that wife is in love with their husband. Okay, so this is a compassion emotion she compressed in the two line. The next, look at this. I love thee freely as men strive for the right. Look at this. So what is this? Strive for right? Freedom. The freedom is one of the important top point in the democracy. As we know that the French Revolution gives the three things that is for world, that is freedom, equality, and brotherhood, or we can say, so this is freedom. This is one of the great word, great thing we have in the part of our democracy, and with the world, with from French Revolution we notice such kind of thing. So she said that I love thee freely as a man, as a man strive for the right, as a human being want freedom. They want freedom to talk, they want freedom to live, they want freedom to express themselves, as our constitution offers the rights for all human beings. The how they see the I love thee like a freedom, okay, as the men strive for the right, okay, the men searching for the right, for the freedom, that compassion what human has, like way I love thee the free. Look at this. In this line, she used the simile in which the love is compared with the strive of the man for the rights of freedom. Look at this. This is use of simile, and very artistically she was blending the metaphor simile to express her love, express her passion using different kind of imaging. So here the love is compared with the man's strive, man's search for the right of freedom, okay, and how the human being that searching for the right of freedom, that is with that compassion, how passionately, rigorously the particular human being are searching for the passion. So I love freely. So one more ask again. I love freely means I don't have any kind of restriction. I love freely with my soul, my mind, my body, everything, all the organs in my mind or my body, love freely to us, okay. So I don't have any restriction, I don't have any kind of, okay, there is no political, no social, no familial, nothing restriction, but I am free, okay, I am free. There is no one going to stop me to loving him, because I have right to love him, and that is called the right of day. Then I love purely as they turn from the prize. Look at this again. I love you purely. Pure means is pure. Purity of love is very important factor. She said that I love the pure love. The pure love is ideal concept of love, which is reflected in the real human being, or the love between the two human being, between animal and human being. So love, pure love is a very important concept. She said that I love purely. Purely means my love is pure. There is no any mixture. There is no any kind of greed. Okay, there is no any kind of purpose behind this. It is a pure flowing like a stream in the breeze, like breeze. Okay, so this is flowing like a stream, pure. Okay, so when the raindrops comes from the sky, from cloud, that is a pure without any mixture. When it strike to earth, it become mixed with other ornaments or other chemicals. So she said that my love is pure. My love is pure as they turn to for the prize, from the prize. Okay, so my love, they are prizing me, my love, my compassion, my emotion to my husband, only because that I love them purely. So look at the first two stanzas in which we can, the poetess is comparing her love with different images, different passions, and this is what we consider one of the great skill. Okay, she make the combination of the different images to express her feelings. Okay, so this is a great quality of we can found in the first two stanzas, which depicted by the Elizabeth Barrett Browning in How Do I Love Thee.